Hi, we have here Don PERRIMAN, Secretary General of the International Beach Basketball Federation for Asia Pacific. Hi, Don.
Hi.
Hi. We are in Thailand for the International Women Beach Basketball Development Camp organized by the Federation, and Don is the main person. So Don, this is the second time you organize such an event. There are over 10 countries.
Yep.
75 plus players. So can you tell us a bit about AIDS and the long vision you have?
Sure. 4 years ago, the zone, we made a conscious decision that the women weren't playing enough teams.
Right.
We really only had 4 teams in the zone. So we did this 2 years ago, we did it now, and we now have over 10 active women's programs within the zone. Our aim is to maintain that and maybe even find some more, because as you know, women in sport, it's difficult for women, and in Asia, culturally, it's also even more difficult. So we are just delighted with the number of girls we've had here this week.
So what is like the biggest surprise out of this camp? What did surprise you?
Having done it before,
yeah,
nothing really surprised me. But what really continues to excite me is the enthusiasm of the girls. They want to learn, they're always smiling, doesn't matter how hard they're trying and how tired they are. They keep smiling and they appear to be really enjoying themselves. So for me, that's the satisfaction of the week.
And how long did it take you to put this all together? I mean, when did you start working on the camp?
About almost 1 year ago, when we had discussions with the hosts here in Thailand about where we could host it, what countries we should involve, and we looked around and we found countries that we didn't know had a women's program. Bangladesh, we didn't know they had a women's team. The Philippines, we didn't know they had a women's team. So it's given us the opportunity to involve them now and get them started. We dealt with you the last time with Nepal, so we knew that you had an active program in Nepal and we wanted to get more activity from you. And it's just been great. The number of, as I say, all of the girls here, they're all new.
All right, great. Well, we must say thanks to Dawn, to all the Nepali friends, because thanks to Dawn and the Federation, we have the 5 women players and 3 coaches that were, going through a selection, and they are here. And Dawn, I mean, you've been in the sport of beach basketball since many years. I mean, you've been the head of the regulation, if I'm not wrong. So what's the difference between World War IV and now Secretary General of the Asia Pacific region?
Excuse me. Previously, I was on the executive of the International Federation as chairman of player classification. So putting people into the class to compete. I was asked 4 years ago if I could take the role of the Secretary General, and I saw it as a new challenge. I've been involved at the elite level for 30 years. So to be involved more at the development level was a new challenge and an exciting challenge. I still have the involvement at the elite level with our AOZ championships and our qualifying tournaments for world championships, Paralympic Games. But this was an opportunity to drive the sport at a grassroots level and take it from there. I mean, the other exciting thing about this camp is we've opened it up to coaches, to referees, to classifiers. In the past, we didn't do that. And we thought this time, a lot of countries want the coaches to learn. So we've got, I think, 13 or 14 coaches here this time. So hopefully they can go back to their home country with the skills they picked up here to further develop their program.
And what's the plan? I mean, what's your vision for the future in the next years or 2?
We would like to do this. This is an argument we have amongst ourselves. Where do we go from here? Do we continue to just have development camps, or do we build on what we started and maybe have a tournament for the countries? Because we know that these countries cannot compete on the international stage with China, with Japan, with Australia, within our zone. It's a big gap, a very big gap. So if we can provide the countries with tournament at their level, so they can then aspire to reach the next level.
But what to do to develop, in-country play beside the national team? Because I mean, we came to know that some nations they don't have clubs.
Yep.
They basically have one national team, and that's it. What would you suggest to develop in-country playing system?
I was talking to one of the coaches today about that, and he said, we get together maybe once every month as a group.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that's not going to encourage the girls to stay interested. They'll find some other interest. You need to have regular competition in your own country. If you've got 20 girls, you make 4 teams.
Yeah.
And then you challenge those teams to go and find a 5th player, and a 6th player, and a 7th player, so that you create more players within their country. But each country has to have regular competition.
Yes.
Otherwise, people lose interest.
Yeah, exactly. That's a challenge. I mean,
That's obviously a challenge you face,
to try to promote the wheelchair basketball on a regular basis. Yeah. And
so just on that, the top countries, the powerful, they have leagues. They run their league every year, and beneath the league, they have competitions just within each city.
But what do they make it different in this country? Because they have the government support, they have the corporate support.
They have the players who want to do it. They have the passion, and they have people behind them. Not so much financial. They get at the elite level. They'll get government support, but at the bottom level, the grassroots, it's really people who want to develop the game.
All right. So in the future, you might see a tournament among nations.
We hope so.
Yeah, sir.
Because that gives them something to aim for.
Yeah, and do you see like the need in the future for these emerging countries by building on the work you've been doing now, also to have maybe a higher level training camp for the most promising players?
We've thought about that.
Yeah.
I suppose we see the role of the country as developing their elite players. But if we can assist in some way, maybe that's an option.
Yeah.
We see perhaps more an option is we put them in contact with high-level coaches.
Yeah.
And they can say, okay, we need a coach to go to this level, and we can say, well, this is the right person.
Yeah.
And a country should import that coach. Because if a coach goes to Nepal, for example, he can teach 40 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than 5 people come to a camp.
Right.
So their knowledge can spread better over the group.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we open a party maybe one day, to get some team from the federation to come over for some development camps or anything else. So now, I mean, very soon you're going to have the Under 25 World Championship.
Yep.
So are you ready?
We hope so. Yeah, look, I think so. We've had a number of tournaments here in Thailand in the past. They've been very well organised. The local hosts have great volunteers. They have a very good supporter base. They also have some very good sponsors.
Yeah.
So we know that, we are very confident that they will run a very good tournament.
All right.
And at the end of this year, we will have our qualification for Tokyo. And that again will be in Thailand. And that could have anywhere between 15 and 20 teams.
All right. So, Don, you want to say a few words to the world about wheelchair basketball in Asia?
Wheelchair basketball in Asia is growing. All I can say to people is get on board, because we're only going to get bigger, we're only going to get better. And they want to give us some money, we're happy to take their money.
Yeah,
but
that's important.
But what we are asking for is people to support our athletes. When they ask for assistance to run tournaments or to run camps, or if they ask for volunteers to come and help with a competition, volunteer, they'll enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. Volunteering play a different role. I mean, we have our cameraman Raju here is one of our engaged sport coaches. We have a bunch of coaches, young people, energetic. I think that's could be one of the way to move forward.
It is, and don't be afraid to involve able-bodied people in the game.
Absolutely, that's very key. Very
that's one of the key things most of the big countries do. Because if somebody has an injury and ends up in a wheelchair, they might see it, they lose contact socially with their friends.
Yeah.
But if they can tell their friends, come and play wheelchair basketball with me, it maintains their social contact, and their friends usually love it.
Yes. All right. Don, thank you so much for the support.
My pleasure.
And hard work for us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.